second time the charm. Here's hoping. Here's hoping the sound is coming through. Now, if it isn't, I'm going to start again. So for those of you who are landing on this video, I have to start the session again. So we'll wait 5 minutes, make sure the sound's right, because I don't want any videos launched where people are getting to the point where they're going, come on, let's get to the point. Now, I have turned the microphone off on the computer, and I'm hoping the audio is coming through correctly. We're going to be tuning into the energy of what's coming up for you guys. I'll wait for a few people to connect in the house so that we can confirm that the audio is working correctly. So the first person that puts their hand up, sweet. Now we are going to be connecting in, as I mentioned in the video I started previously, a bit of what I'm seeing in a transit sense, what's coming through for you guys. Now, as I mentioned in the previous video, you have had this really interesting aspect in your astrology that has been very much linking in with your fourth house. Now, for many of you, you might have been experiencing things to the degree where your home environment and the Capricorn energy would have been causing hindrance in the home domain. So that could have been anything from changing accommodation to moving location, wanting to buy a home, wanting to get things on the home front done. Now, because we will be having during May Saturn retrograding into Aquarius, it's going to give you guys a little bit of a break. It's also going to show you some of the themes that are going to come through for 2021. So, moving out of April, we very much had Sun in Taurus, we had Mercury in Taurus. All of those energies were pushing us into luxury energy. And for you guys, that's your 8th house, which is, really fine-tuning the frequencies of a way you can be very independent, a way you can be responsible. And it's a codependent house, but it's a healthy codependency. It's what can you depend on directly. Now, spiritually, very much because we currently have Juno in Libra, which is connected to marriages, contracts, partnerships. It also does affect the way you're looking at yourself, and there can be deep, deep psychology and reflection going on at the moment. I'm also seeing at various levels, you guys are going to be, is sound coming through okay? I've turned the sound off on the computer and left it on the microphone, because I have this very large microphone. So with yourself and the energy you guys are holding, it's almost like a reflection, the psychology of the energies coming through. Definitely when I was tuning into your energy, throat chakra was sort of going, but I don't feel it's because you don't want to communicate. I feel it might be that that's good. Now, the sound, I had 2 sound systems on. I had the computer and the microphone, so I've turned it off. So like I said before, the 4th house placement for you guys has been pretty icky. There is a potential this year, and especially with Saturn retrograde in your own house, for you guys to find a very unique way. But this is a year that Libras do need to be quite cautious. And, there's particular zodiac signs in the matrix that would need to, just tread very carefully and be cautious. And this month with retrogrades, it's very much quality systems, updating things, fine-tuning things that you're moving through, which do have a lot going on astrologically for you guys individually. But definitely, as I mentioned previously, there's Libra, Aries, Capricorn, Cancer, Taurus, even Pisces, really. A lot of changes coming for those particular zodiac signs. With the nodes shifting and Venus retrograde in your zodiac sign, well, it's not in you, it's in the Venus house, but for your zodiac sign, there's a lot of energy coming through in your astrology, as well as psychically me directly tuning in, which I will be. And I'm going to pull a crystal for you guys. One of it was, I was definitely seeing the orange chakra. And I don't feel it's fair-based frequency. I feel it's very much punch energy of what you're going to need to do. Now I'm going to, yes. Where your love is, where your heart is. Well, you're a Venus sign. Makes sense. So with the heart chakra, you're guided in the month of May to focus on what these themes are, which does make complete sense because Venus is retrograde, Juno is retrograde in your sign, will go direct at the end of the month. So in all the things and aspects of your life, this is going to be a big one, but you don't want to jump too early. Retrogrades are always the best time to fine-tune things. Things that are left field will come, skeletons in the closet will come out. And I'm seeing you're not, that's mainly why I feel the energy of your throat chakra going. It's not necessarily that it's out. You're not using it because you've got that hunch energy. You've got that psychic energy that you're operating from. Now, your home domain is going to have a little bit of a break. We'll still have the energy of the unforeseen coming with the energy of Pluto. So at home, for you guys in particular, if you've found that you've been clearing things out, trying to organise things to a degree, you'll definitely be fine-tuning your routine. You'll be looking at different ways you can monopolise on your time. And I'm seeing time management a very important thing. I do feel exercise is also coming into the piece where it may be just kick-starting it to get your chi energy up. And again, with the heart chakra activation there, I do feel that's connected. I'm also seeing that some of you may be looking at your diet and your food. Very much with the frequency of home, some of you do have an opportunity to view, if you are wanting to have a home or have children, it is a potential this year, but more so during the time of Saturn retrograding in Aquarius. Other aspects are coming up where the planning energy of such is coming through for you guys. Now, in your love life, again, it's highly active. It's up on the chart. And if it was an extreme, we're at the level 10, and 10 just jumped in the house. So with Saturn being in your 5th house, it's kind of handy. It may kind of lighten the energy. You've definitely still got Juno retrograde. And you're going to be looking at the health of it, I do feel, and maybe some routine energies. I just need to eat chocolate, Olsen. I've been eating chocolate, all right, I'm telling you. But it's funny because the green energy, I've been definitely thinking, gee, I need to get on my A game with that. So career sector's bouncing between now and 2021. I see you guys making definite shifts and changes. And I do see you guys making very important contacts. But again, many of you that are on the fence, and it can be due to lockdown, but even if this did not occur, it's lit up in your chart to a point you would at a frequency level be there. I think so. I used to tell my dad that. Now the unseen. 8th house. Oof, 8th house. I do feel many of you in business may be networking outside, and you're really guided to. You're also guided to actually connect in with wider group energy. Let's pull some cards. Oh, yeah, deeply meditating, guys. Meditating upon your way forward. There's a lot of old energy that we're cycling out of, but you're definitely very, very leveled up. Energy. Okay, yes, at a spiritual level, you got the 7 coming through. So again, it's marriages, contracts, partnerships, which is the Venus. It's currently in the collective 7th house. You guys have the 7 of Swords, but I'm not finding this energy to be bad. I'm feeling as though with this energy coming through, again, I feel hunch energy. With your hopes and dreams and Neptune and Pisces, it does link into your employment, the things you connect to, the value you place in things. And there can be combative energy, but it's also you're really wanting to, you don't want to put your energy into anything that is a waste of time. So it's almost like 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out, but it's caution. It's very cautious with the way you're proceeding forward. I also feel with the world coming through, there is a cycle that you do believe is about to come to a close, and you're wanting to recreate this new life. You're also understanding the reality that you don't have control of all things, and you're getting very realistic about what you can control, what you can't. But at the heart of it, there is this unsure energy. And I mean, this is the general part of the read. So with the general aspect of things, you're not jumping the gun. You do have the Chariot, in reverse. And I more feel it can be an alignment energy, a testing time in which you're assessing where to go, what to do. But I'm not finding this to be a negative thing. I actually feel it's an intentional thing, because your crowning energy, High Hawaii, is really, you got that hunch. You got that, it could be too much information. Again, with the Venus retrograding in Gemini is, let me look, it's your 9th house. So again, your movement and the bigger picture, plus the energy of Hermit mode. 9 is Hermit mode energy. You're content to observe. You're in the judgment energy to a degree. You're tapping into your emotions, your feelings. You're in the High Priestess energy. It's because you wish to have success in all things you're putting your energy into. And with the 4th house placement, it would have been quite a large lesson to come to terms with. That, push comes to shove, you're not utilizing your energy in vain. Now, be it you, again, marriages, contracts, partnerships, all energies at the moment are in deep reflection. And I'm not feeling this as separation. I feel this is more, you're distancing yourself when you're looking at the past and you're looking at the present and, kind of in a way looking forward. But again, there is this assessment energy going on. And you've really not got to be too hard on yourself this month, because with all the planets retrograde, it's very psychological. I mean, your Aries placement is in your Venus house. So all this psychology energy has really been under the microscope for you guys. Any shadow energies that are coming up, you do need to pay attention to. I want to pull clarifiers. I'm feeling as though there can be, for some of you, conversations about what your hopes and dreams are, especially with this month being that we're going to have Venus retrograde. I'm feeling as though there can be conversations with people in relation to the past and in relation to breakups. And, kind of can be airing the dirty laundry. But it's also the conversations and the mind as well, operating through that third eye, thinking about these things. What did they mean? What did they serve? The area that's going to benefit you the most is making peace with these areas. Because with the retrogrades, hi Dale, you're really needing to make peace with that. And, a lot of times, especially if people have let us down, we tend to say, okay, how can we make peace with that? The person hasn't apologised. Even if the person apologised to you, and this is what I found, prematurely, if the energy of the human being or the situation and it came back and something had occurred and the apology was there, depending on how profound it was, the apology would never take the pain out of you. It's the process at a psychological level for you to make peace with it, where it's a bit like a spiritual walk-in. Your life feels very, very different. You feel very foreign in your own DNA, and it's a bit like ringing in the ears if you've had a car accident or something to that degree. It's just an analogy. So when that happens, somebody saying, are you okay, isn't going to make it right away. It's the adjustment. It's coming to terms with it. It's sitting in the energy of it. And then you kind of get that new normal back. And I'm sort of feeling a lot of this process has been done very solely on your own. Especially in your heart chakra, you definitely had to always be the fighter, be the, maybe you were the pursuer. Maybe you got to a point you needed to have that value system energetically with you to actually know your worth and have that frequency where the laws of attraction directly govern that. Although you guys are a Venus sign, in your heart chakra, I do feel there has been a lot of wounds. But I do feel you're turning over a new leaf with this, and through this month, it's really going to give you a very deep viewpoint of, where where you want to be and where you don't. Some of you may be dealing with a past tense situation. And again, I'm feeling a lot of two energies, two areas of life, two roads. Past tense energies, even old energies coming back in your mind, as well as you may currently be on a path. And it could be a past tense person, especially as a clarifier on the lovers. Some of you also may be superstitious. But again, I feel you're micromanaging your thoughts and you're trying to come back to this present moment. You know, your foundation, I do feel you're looking at it and you're saying, okay, where is that happiness? What needs to shift? What needs to change so that you guys can get to a point where you can deal with the frustrations and the hurts and the things from the past that weren't serving you. Okay, yeah, I think a lot of closure is going to come from the point that you guys are really redefining who you are. So on top of the external going on, there's a lot of internal that's actually occurring with you. And the internal is this very, very transformative frequency coming through. You might have been a little bit agitated, and you may find during, and I'm still feeling you guys are going to be really, really busy. Now, Mars in Pisces on the 13th, that definitely is going to hit with your career. So moving into that area, be it you need to network out, depending on where you are in the world, obviously we have situations happening in the world. Some of you may be frontline workers. Some of you may be assessing your career and whether to upskill. With that, regardless of where you are, because your employment section does fit into the Neptunian energy, this is a perfect time to actually tune into where you're meant to be, what is right for you. So in a sense of your career, either side of that week, I'm really feeling it's a perfect time to be, you know, jotting down plans. The retrogrades can give you really great hunches and clues, but you're really needing to push your energy into the things that you enjoy and balancing that routine out. Okay, let's have a look at your romance. Well, I'll be. Okay, some of you that are single may actually have a love offer coming in this week. Or this month, I should say. But it's the crowning energy. This can just be where your head's at. Wanting a very stable connection, wanting a beautiful home. Again, because Saturn is retrograde in Aquarius, it's going to lighten your energy. And when I say lighten your energy, because it's been in the 4th house in Capricorn, it's been heavy. Right. Had the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn. Your life, when it comes to home, when it comes to home has not been so fun, and potentially even in connections and relationships. But overall, with the 10 of Cups as your crowning energy, it's really owning that, and definitely in your heart chakra. We can't expect anyone else to value us if we don't see the light in everything we are. We won't need to preach it. We'll just be embodying that energy, and there can be a lot of heart chakra clearing at this time. But your heart's desires can really be on your mind, especially since you are a Venus sign. But this is a very social time as well. And social does not have to be in the direct 3D. It can be via telephone calls, multimedia, that yearning to get back to the theory of normal. But this new normal of who you're going to be, again, I do feel this time has really shown a lot of people what really matters and how to balance the life out. Okay, you feel as though in the past there were some things that were hidden from you. And again, due to the fact that we have Venus retrograde, some of you may be having an inkling that some of these shadow energies are going to come back and haunt you. But you got this intuitive frequency that something has or had been hidden from you. Now, whatever this is, too many. I do feel with the energy of the full moon in Scorpio, some of those things with Pluto retrograde are going to come to foresight. Again, this can be conversations with the direct individuals or individual. As to how you felt about that, and again, this healing can also be coming through with you communicating with other people, and suddenly you find out some information. But again, I am feeling it's directly a blast from the past to some of you. Those of you who are on the fence and you're wondering, do you reach out to this person? No, they need to. No, I need to. It can even be the perspective of where you're assessing a love interest and you feel they tend to wait to the last minute or tend to wait for the universe to force their hand or something to that degree. If it's in your domain, you know, again, with the hunch energy and your crowning energy, I grasp that. I get that. But at the same time, if there's something that you feel needs addressing, you may need to actually, you know, again, throat chakra, use your throat chakra or directly take the bull by the horns and deal with this energy. I do feel you were very committed and you do in general wish to have a very solid committed energy. You also don't want to be psychoanalyzing situations. You don't want to have to watch your back. You want to have the reciprocal energy there. And I do feel overall this has really transformed you. So during this time, you're reflecting back, but I really do feel you're embodying the energy of what you feel you're entitled to. Some of you could be on the fence, but again, with Juno retrograde, it makes sense. This clear thinking is what will give you the best out of the situation, but I'm feeling much of this is going to be more in a clarity sense coming through to you. Let me check the date because I'm seeing some dates coming through on the cards. The planets talk to me through the cards. I feel from the 5th you're going to have a turn. This again can be stirring up frequencies, but I feel you're going to pause. I'm feeling 3 individuals, 3 direct situations pertaining to romance coming in and coming through. My guides are getting noisy now. I do feel nervous energy. It's almost like, you know, you have this energy coming in. You feel the big wheels are moving and something out of left field seems to be going on. There's something to a degree you feel hidden. And with that, it's shown to you. Whatever it is, it's going to be shown to you. You won't have time to plan, and I do feel it's with all the aspects that are going on astrologically. It's like it's going to come out of nowhere. I'm seeing that whatever it is, you're making a major decision. Okay, there's a very separate message. Some of you have been dreaming about this individual in question, for some of you. Now, also sometimes, and this happened to me many moons ago, and that's why I'm seeing it on the card, sometimes your soul connection, you will actually dream of them, okay? Look at the little child next to the individuals on the card. There is a soul child, potentially from a previous life, or that will be in this lifetime. I know I dreamt of my daughter. Didn't think it was possible. This child is sort of coming through. Might be one that's already here on the planet, or it's one that's coming. But there is this area where there's a lot of planning, and these roads are opening. I don't think you guys are actually going to see it because wherever you are, don't distance yourself. I do actually feel with this card, I feel there could be a move of home. But this, again, for some of you might be future planning. This can be due to some circumstances and situations changing. There may be a move, and it can be due to this person of the past coming back. You won't be surprised. but you're wondering if they're higher frequency or lower frequency. But it's not going to be a surprise. Yeah, it's definitely a person from the past. Whoops, too many. I want to tear his arms off. You're a dog. Healing. You guys are going to get the outcome that you wish. And I do feel it's very much, it almost reminds me of the water bearer, this card. You got the star. You can hardly see it. These dreams and the Pisces energy, which I was mentioning to you, I was saying it really, okay, wishing upon a star, having this dream and it's coming towards you. You're in the High Priestess energy, so you've got to tap into your emotions. Your emotions will directly attract in your heart chakra what you're fearing, right? Hello. If you're focusing on negativity and what these energies are, caution, okay? Skeletons in the closet coming out. You don't want to be attracting this vibration in the same format. Because you do have the sun and you've got this outcome. You've got a good outcome. But I feel it's between now and the end of the year. And the reason I'm saying the end of the year, it's not saying this isn't happening right now, but there's going to be some plans that you guys are going to make. Whatever you're both doing on your own side of the fence right about now or jointly, it is for this growth, okay? It's for this, okay, let's switch gears to get where we need to be. And again, I'm connecting with this being the age of Aquarius energy. So it's very much the Aquarian energy coming through. This could also be a water sign. What else am I seeing? And again, I'm saying the day, the 5th. I don't know, between the 5th and the 11th, I think there's going to be a shake-up. What is this energy? Yeah. I do feel some information coming through, though. Okay, singles. I'm getting 2 messages. I need to hone in on singles and couples because there's 2 messages for each group with this video. My guides work in mysterious ways. Okay, there's going to be, for those of you that are single, this is really, and I'm seeing this coming through, information, conversations, movement, and a dependable foundation. So switching up and changing gears. I don't feel you guys are going to jump unless need be. But again, I am seeing your intent and what you're ushering into your ethers is the need for a very stable foundation. If there's something you're missing and something you're needing to do, you're going to find it's going to be busy during this month due to the fact we've got so many retrogrades. So try and be very patient with yourself. But I'm also seeing there can be a family linking in with it and other people external. So it may be you're looking at the bigger picture with this. Yeah, you're not wanting any toxic BS. You're moving away from this. You're moving away from the toxic energy. And again, your home, your family, your love life. Some of these people are going to be jealous. I do feel external influences might be a little bit jealous and they're not wanting you in this energy to move forward. But I do feel almost like evil eye energy. Yeah. Both of you are feeling it has to happen, so there can be some detachment. But I'm almost feeling if this person in particular that you're inquiring about might have, it could be siblings, it could be their own family, previous family, etc. It can be an energy where they may be holding this individual back, but this individual's maybe even painting you in a particular light. I'm almost seeing lady in waiting energy. Okay, if there's external energies that had been causing dramas, and this tying up of this energy with that, I do feel it's going to happen. It's inevitable, especially because we are going to be having the nodes shifting. Then moving into June and July, we're definitely having the eclipses. So these cycles, especially in your own life, Libra, they're really shifting and changing. I don't feel this to be a negative energy, but I do feel, you've got to be patient with that. And during the process of the retrograde, I do feel towards the end of the month, there can be a few hiccups, and maybe with this person moving towards you or information that's coming through, there can be some hidden things that come up left field. I do feel you're completely, this person's coming in loyal. And they're wanting to move away from this nasty energy, whatever it is they're dealing with. Yeah. They got dramas. They got people around them that maybe aren't so nice, but it's like they put it behind them. But you're going to need to be prepared for, just step back and allow them to deal with that conflict, because I feel it's very separate. And we're all going through a Venus retrograde. So these things be happening at a temporary level. I do feel something to do with, there's a potential to do with assets for some reason. Like cutting assets in half, share of finances, something at a financial level. And I really feel that is, it's almost like manipulation, again, Pluto retrograde, it's all those loose ends, tying out that karmic cycle. So just prepare for those delays, but it's not a personal thing. You've definitely got the heart chakra there, and, overall for singles and couples, you've got the Ten of Cups as your crowning energy, and you got the Star as your outcome, so it's still going to bode well regardless. Couples, or even those of you in contact. You're a tag. Many of you are going to be doing quite well with the shift. Okay, some of you in a couple there might be, not sleeping at the moment, maybe thinking a lot. You're eliminating things, but you're really tapping into your spirituality. And I feel, if you're giving to yourself and you're nurturing to yourself, a lot of non-codependency here, which is, it's going to be handy during Venus retrograde. I do potentially think there could be someone that is, this is weird. This is the couple's energy. And again, we've got retrograde, so it makes sense. Okay, there's almost this energy where there can be a person from the past coming back, maybe talking about their missed opportunities, what they wanted, and again, it feels more soul healing. This could be something that's going on very spiritually between the two individuals in the connection, where you're meditating upon some of these things. And I do feel your likes and dislikes and your path forward does feel as though it's changing. But these burdens, I do feel they're spiritual burdens, things you kept on your chest, I do feel they're coming up. You've got the Ten of Wands in reverse. And that's at the heart of the read. There's some things, it's a heavy cross to bear, so to speak, but it's more, how long it's taken you guys to get where you are, especially with the fourth house placement. It can be very sad energy, and potentially there were energies around you that were deeply codependent on you, but I'm really not feeling it's within the connection. So at the heart of it, this is something that, is going to be addressed. So if there's external energies, or there is this frequency where one of you is dependent on the other, this can be a shape up and a change around. But I feel this is more linking in with past energy. And, missing information. And I feel during the Scorpio full moon, this is where it's starting to move through and it's coming to the surface. Okay, some of it, you guys might be shifting up roles. But I do feel there's a change. This can either be coming through in your energy or your partner's energy, Libra. Yeah. A lot of planning. I feel there's planning as to where you guys want to be, what you guys want to build. So the value doesn't necessarily have to be within the connection. I feel they're external things, but it's due to situations of the past that you guys are trying to do this catch up. There's a lot of faithful energy here. So if you are getting triggered, you know, try and stay grounded, because as long as you're both in alignment, I'm seeing this to be a very healthy time for planning in coupledoms. Anything else I'm seeing for Libra? Let me tune in. I'm seeing all the people in the house. Hello. I do feel this love interest energy is very quiet. Now, it could be their nature. It could be that they're very, very private individuals. I do feel there's a drama that is unknown to you that has been hidden. And it's not due to the fact they're being secretive or hiding something from you as per se. I feel it's more they're trying to mentally process it first before addressing it. I'm going to pull 3 more. I'm going to pull an animal totem card. Wrong one. There are big plans in the couple's energy. And I do feel, yeah, big plans. I don't feel, it's odd because it's almost like it's going to be super busy, that even if you were working, living together, not in lockdown energy, I just feel it's almost like there's lack of time, be it your couple or single, lack of time. And I don't know what this time connection is. Sometimes spiritually when people are ascending, it's almost like universe tends to keep both energies busy to do the mental process. And I think that's really what's going on regardless. Singles. Couples. Okay, there's the energy of the unseen. Now, I do feel this can be past energies, this can be exes, something that isn't being looked at. Something has been hidden. Now, this hidden energy, I do feel it relates more to individuals who maybe jump before, you know, they leap before they jump, however you say it. They're not using disconcernment. But I don't feel this is your energy. And I also don't feel, I feel it's very, very external. I feel very karmic energy. Let's have a look. Okay, you guys as singles have a great deal of luck around you. And couples, yeah, really, you're going to have to persevere through this because you guys are going to be pretty busy in a coupledom. Some of you may not get as much time together, even if you are home. It's more getting things done, getting things organised. But this crowning energy, I feel it relates to both of you. And I want to know the information that's coming up for this. This can be very Pluto retrograde energy. That can directly affect the home, the family, the love life. Who is this person? Yes, it can be connected to a younger person or younger people. It might be to do with your new beginning and what's going on, which I did mention at the beginning of the read. Yeah, it's something to do with your foundation. Again, Pluto. I really feel during this full moon process, which is occurring on the 7th, be very mindful either side, because the Scorpionic energy does relate to hidden realms, sort of very Pluto Neptunian. It's hidden, it's delusional energy. But it can be a lot of ego being pushed here. You're going to have to be pretty independent. And this is karmic lesson for these individuals. It's not, but there can be a lot of projection coming through. And I'm sort of feeling there's a bit of conflict with this energy external. Who is this person? This could be a mother energy. Could be an ex. Could be a family member. There is, whoever this is, they're causing conflict. Yeah, somebody who is immature. Watch your backs. Yeah, they're going to come out of nowhere. They're not going to give you any warning. Yep, no warning at all. Very, very manipulative and can be relating into kin, children, ex. Just bear in mind, and I don't feel this is a romantic partner. I'm going to pull one more. Oh, okay, two more. Okay, this is a karmic energy. Now, whoever this is, either your side of the fence, another person's side of the fence, it's an external issue. This pause energy, in general, in your romance house, be very cautious with external energies. Don't be surprised. And you did really have that coming through in your Venus house. You know, remain in your heart chakra, white light yourself, and definitely use Tumbaline because it's going to protect you against spiritual attacks. But this person is very codependent. This person really can't understand why you're doing what you're doing or why you have what you have. They've got a lot of energy for external of themselves, but not a lot of energy for internal. But the problem that I'm seeing, and this has been coming through with all the reads, this can be a very iffy time for lower frequency energies where they can get a bit hasty, and that's saying it lightly. Because this is frustrated energy. This is like manic energy where the person is that angry that they have not been able to achieve what they wanted, that they could become quite toxic. Yeah, it can be a past tense person. Very, very jealous. And can't accept the fact that it's over, so just be careful. Any questions on the house? Pull a native spirit animal for the month. Interesting road, Libra. I'll have to do a check-in. Yep, something old from the past is coming back. Stay traditional. Stay grounded. Your ancestors are helping you. But I do feel as though there can be a person coming to start a bit of drama. Grab a bag of popcorn, as my girlfriend said. Grab a bag of popcorn and watch the show. Don't feed the energy. Any questions in the house? Clear the cards. Crack. I'll have to delete the other video because it had no sound. Star again. Focus on your hopes and dreams, especially through your astrology. This is a huge level up month. You don't want to be wasting the joy of the energy, and definitely with Jupiter going retrograde is a really good time to be assessing, okay, what is this new area? What is this rebuild? My Scorpio not messaged me since last November. Well, Juno going direct can also kind of bring these energies about. So you will find, usually through transits, especially from a spiritual point of view, you tend to find particular zodiac signs will go into, regardless of what zodiac sign, Juno, I've noticed, whenever it goes retrograde and direct, you tend to get very similar to Venus, because it is a Venus house. It's connected in with feminine. Energies from the past and reconnections can come back. And because it's in judgment energy, this is a time where there can be changes in connections. Juno and Libra together is like a double Venus. Plus, we have Venus in Gemini, which does link into communication. So people will be discussing, talking, connecting. And during those times, you tend to feel that those people that you haven't heard from can open the doors. Advice, guidance on forgiveness and acceptance of what is, what has happened, and move back into union. I would say, the funny thing is I thought about it, and I was very blessed during my spiritual process and separation that I had people that I would talk to that were very spiritual. And with that energy, what I found was we generally in the beginning stages, when something terrible has happened, we're looking at it from an ego point of view, which is a pain body point of view. They did this to me. They made me feel this. And that's how your psychology works. Your mind is moving through the understanding and embodying how that made you feel. And because we do have Aries in our Venus house, Libras in particular, and the heart chakra coming up, it's really doing that energy work on that. But the thing is, you'll tend to be able to do that once you come to terms with the fact it occurred. When you come to terms with the reality that 9 times out of 10 when we say they did it to us, when a person is not present and codependent and unhealed and in a connection with you, or maybe playing games, it can appear such. We're allowing them to juggle our heart. We're giving them that permission. If it's completely, hidden from you, again, by you thinking that's your fault, that if you had known it wouldn't have happened, no, that's a job you shouldn't take. You're not the counselor. You are a vibrational being coming into a connection. Yes, empathically, we are here to support each other in relationships. But to actually just fully own that, like, if I had only known, this wouldn't have happened to me, you're actually affecting a healing process. You need to look at the polar opposite. I'm not responsible for another person's actions. Even if I trigger you, I'm not responsible for your reaction, because I can't know millions of people of how you will directly relate, because we all individually deal with things differently. I will try to act with integrity the best I can within the realm of my ability at this point, but who I may be as a reader in 10 years' time may be completely different to what it is now. But it goes the same way. So you've got to look at who the person was. Why, in a prospective sense, do you feel they might have done what they did? And if they were in a healthy demeanour in their mind and more at peace and more in their power, do you feel they would have done such? Sometimes you can even feel that the other person that they potentially end up with is going to get more than you. Well, no, polar opposite. If you've got something, that other person is going to get exactly the same. So by stepping back and sitting and going, okay, what have I learned from this? How did this make me feel? Has it happened to me in the past? Won't actually just relate to one person. It could be several things. You could be the common denominator. It happened again and again and again. And then you're going, well, man, I don't want this to happen no more. Is it? And it's not necessarily that that's you, but it's a common theme occurring. And again, it's about value. So you are not responsible for how another reacts. But if you go into it as an observer first, and you can look at it and go, okay, was this person prepared for a connection? Could be no. But if you were there, it's a bit like, okay, this is where the person is, but you can see the potential that it will be up here one day. You're not living there. You're living here. So it's almost like, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, and you're waiting for that person to level up. It's not ready. You picked the fruit before it was ripe. So sometimes you need to step back and go, was that on the great foundation to be where it needed to be? If it wasn't, well, we invested prematurely. Does that make sense? That's one area. But again, the coaching is very different because I can hear in the way you're talking. We can talk directly about a subject which will show your belief system and your pain body experience. And then through that, I can give you different direct examples. You know, in a chat, it's very difficult. But the process and what I did was, first I came from my perspective. Then I sat in it and I went, okay, now I've done my perspective. I felt sorry for myself, which I did. I felt really sorry for myself. It was shit. Then I looked at maybe stepping away from my own energy on the outside, looking in at me. Okay. Then I looked at their perspective and then their external perspective. And then I joined the two and I found the roadmap. I was like, okay, if a person's saying, if you're saying to a person, do you love me? And they're saying, I don't even know, I don't even love myself. Alarm bells. You've got to love your own life. You've got to love your own life. If a person's saying, and you're feeling it's your job to make a person happy, no, you can never make a person happy. They either are your happiness or they're not. And it's not where they're going to be in 10 years' time, it's where you are right now. Because that's living in the future, not in the moment. So sometimes you may be in a very unhappy connection and going, it'll get better soon, it'll get better soon. It could be like that for 10 years. And you can never know. We're not to the point where we can timeline jump, which from a psychological level, a mental level, when you're stuck and you're on the fence, you are doing that. You're operating through the ego. You're looking at the past and you're looking at where you are. You're looking at where you want to be. And you're looking at different avenues to manipulate the matrix. Very, very much the crowning energy of what's coming through for Libra. Because you're trying to miss landmines. Libra assesses all areas before they jump in. Because they're trying to make correct, okay, where is it through that matrix that I can step so I can get the best possible outcome? And 9 times out of 10, and Libras are really changing, Libras embodied the energy of having people up here and them down here because empathically they understood the reasons why. So for the benefit of that person, because you directly understood why they were experiencing some vibration, you stood down here for a long time. If a plane's going down, the air hostess tells you it's your job to put your mask on first, not theirs. You have to assess that at all times. If you're going into a connection, oh, buddy, oh, lovey, and you are giving them everything, it looks karmic. You look like a karmic. They're like, she'll be giving me anything. He'll be giving me anything. I don't need to do anything here. So people see your value. You are selling your resume. I even said this to a partner previously. I said, don't sell my resume because somebody will buy me. Because you don't know whose cup of tea you're going to be. But if you're selling a person's resume and and that's the one thing in dating. If you overhear a partner talking about you very cheaply to their friends, that's a warning sign. And you should be looking at them and walking in the opposite direction and saying, you have not earned me because fruit first, basket later. Another thing that a girlfriend taught me. She didn't practice it very well, might I add. I think that's where I took over that one. It was like fruit first, basket later. If you give the dessert, they ain't coming back for more. It's earned. Love is earned. Love is given freely. But you have to own the fact that you gave it. And if somebody hurts you, instead of looking at it like you're the one that lucked out, you need to come back and go, I actually have a lot to offer. Oh, they're going to really learn the hard way. You don't know the theory, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. I, moving through my healing, sat there for a while and went, I'm a pretty nice person. I'm a very giving person. I have my shadow sides too. And I went, okay then. Let me wait and see. I'm not going to beg and grovel. I'm going to sit back and do the healing energy on myself because you always, in romance, you go on a dating site, only once and it was a nightmare, would not go there again. knowing the vibration of butterflies when you've met someone and you're like, oh, it's very raw, it's very organic. The person meets you, you've got your own hopes, dreams, energies, and it's just natural, it just flows, and you meet them, it's lovely. And they choose to be with you. They choose to wine you, dine you, court you, get to know you. They're in the I want more of this story. That's what you want to attract. If you have to chase it, you're going to get tired of chasing after a while. And you will get to the point where you're going, no, like reciprocal energy. So when you're sitting there and you realize, okay, a person's gone away, potentially jump to the pretend grass on the other side being greener, let them eat that resume and let them see that the true currency of that grass and sit in the energy of where you are. Because, like they say, if a bird is truly yours, let it go. God bless. If it comes back, it was always yours. And really, from an observer's point of view, that's where I want it, because my self-worth had changed. I could understand maybe where I had gone wrong. I understood maybe where he had gone wrong, why those things happened. But I kept taking it back to, what can I change? And what do I want to attract back in my life? And you can't go backwards, right? But you can go forwards, and you can take the backwards energy forwards with you. So you never do dumb crap again. So that if you get the warning signs, some people go through people's phones, which I can say years ago, I was karmic energy. I would operate that way. Paranoia. Well, if you can sense it, it's not your job to micromanage a person. If they stuff up, the reality is you have to be an adult and go, hey, can you forgive? Because any Joe Blog can mess up in life, it's true. Or are you willing to walk out that door and not be a chicken? And that's codependent energy. It's like, are you going to level up? Are you going to stop making excuses, and are you going to go get the best life you physically can? If you're sitting there and you go, but they did something to me, you can sit in that energy so long before you say to yourself, I want to have the best life has to offer. And one of the best things I did when I was alone, and I mean, I was completely alone, cat and me, that was it. The vegetable garden, exercising, you name it, that was it for 11, 12 months. When I sat there and I was ready to reconnect with people, because I was working all the time on YouTube, love you YouTube, I then said to myself, okay, the reality is you can get married and one day you will be alone. That is the reality. We need to face that. If that's so, I better have the best possible life that I can make, because that's my job. Be it my career, be it my hobbies, be it me shifting my mindset, dumping the junk that I'd carried with me emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and just being very present in this one moment. Anytime a trigger comes up for me that has occurred in the past that maybe relates to now, I say to myself, okay, do you have control over that? Is that a you person problem? Is that a circular energy of you, something you can change? No, tune out of it, not your problem. It's almost like, to stay psychologically stable, you need to give more attention to yourself and what you need to do than what other people are doing. It's almost like nosy energy. So in theory, you can have the love of your life and say it's your twin. If you only had 1 year, would that be enough? Well, it better be, because you've got your whole life ahead of you. So your vibrational shift needs to come to a point. It is not based on time. It is not based on a person, a place, a thing. It's you recreating yourself, you loving your life, you being gentle with yourself when you're healing, but just always monopolizing on as if tomorrow was your last and making the best of every day. And that's very much living from the moment. It's very spiritual. It takes a bit of time to get to it. When you find yourself giving people advice, which is what I'm doing on here, I'm telling you my perspective. You don't have to take it, and you'll find a unique way to do it yourself. Unless it's been asked of you, you will connect the dots because you spiritually would have been there yourself, that you will need to be on your A game and go, okay, if I explain my perspective to this person, is it because I'm trying to manipulate it? Is it because I believe my way is the only way? or because I want a better outcome, right? And then look at it and go, is this a waste of my breath, or does this person need to learn that process themselves? You've got to be in a relationship parenting yourself. If you find yourself micromanaging and parenting the other person, you might as well be single. You can have a perspective and you can definitely say, so for me, reconnecting in my twin flame path, and this is more, I will apply this to the rest of my life. Union or no union, this is for me for moving forward. Whoever I'm with, whatever I'm doing. If I'm focused on what they're doing with their finances, it does not affect me. If it does, it's because I haven't done something myself. So if you find yourself navigating and going, you should do this, you should do that, Yildiz, you have hands. You should be focused on what you need to do. You can have joint energy within relationships, but you're mutually coming to the table, and through each step, you change and you evolve. And there's different ways we have connections. Some are very interconnected, but it's also supporting hopes and dreams, and your resume of what you're doing in one point being flexible. Pluto's going retrograde, Libra. You know, going to be fun. Now, Pluto going retrograde in Capricorn, you're going to fine-tune the dead wood in life. What do you need to get rid of? That's for all of us collectively. Now, we've got 3 more years of Capricorn and Pluto. Home-related dynamics, fine-tuning it, what works, what doesn't work, especially spiritually for Libra. We've been looking at that. Having to learn very karmic lessons about the fake security of connections, relationships, and what they bring to us. And you 9 times out of 10, I guarantee, with that placement, you got the polar opposite. And now you're really like, hard lesson to learn. You can't go back to the old version of who you were. You never will be. Especially with your placement of Leo there in the astrology. You were meant to be a worker. You were meant to be a star, a king, a queen in your own light, whatever that be, whatever level that might be. Did I elaborate again? I'm so much like my father. He tells these random stories, and told, I should say. But yeah, it's a tricky thing. I looked at the reason why maybe it happened with, in my connections, why separations happen. Healing, you don't get it from the person. You never do. I mean, I was like, in my younger years, the person needs to come and say sorry to me. And I was like, what's sorry going to do? You still to this day, you will have direct evidence. You will look inside yourself, and somebody who sorted you off, it'll be there. And you're carrying that. Look at yourself and go, in 10 years' time, do you want to be thinking about that crap? That's like a bad filing system that you have not compartmentalized, and it doesn't define you. It's a graze. It's a graze, right? I've got a cut there because I've been gardening. Now, it's different if the direct environment you end up in is picking at that old wound. It's not the reminder and the trigger, but if the direct environment is doing the same, you need to speak up and you need to go, no, I've got empathy, but you're pulling the pee out of me right now. And it's no, don't want to. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. If something is making you feel agitated and you're having lack of sleep, you're 9 times out of 10, spirit will get you up at 3 o'clock in the bloody morning. Why that happens at a spiritual awakening is because you're not listening to yourself. It's not what they want. What do you want? What do you want? It could be twin flame path. It could be your career sector and the opinions of people in those areas. What do you want? And again, we're 2-3 day. So when we're 2-3 day, we tend to attract only what we believe we can have. And my nephew came up with this, and I'll have to go on a minute because this is bloody long. He was talking to me about 1111. He was also talking to me about ego, the mind, and things to that degree. And I said, the ego in a pain body experience and memory and logic is the only way we can have money is through a job. Anyone else in the house believe that? Yeah, magically, if you sit there and you think about it, A person that owes you money can give you money. You could find $50 on the floor. You could win lotto. You could get an inheritance. There's many houses in astrology that can bring money for you. But again, the ego is too fixated on tunnel vision. That's the only way it can happen. Very spiritual. Blockages create blockages. You believe something, you attract it. I had so much attraction of laws of attraction energy, and it wasn't all the happy stuff, especially as a Libra. It wasn't all the happy stuff. Your stories and advice are going to... Yeah, and you've got to do the work on yourself where, when I say do the work on yourself, it actually sounds like a job. Don't look at yourself as a job. Look at yourself as the investment. You can't expect somebody else to invest in you if you don't invest in you. You know, and that was something, it took a long time for me to grasp because I was so busy sorting everybody's problems out. I was like, what do I want? And now is a really perfect time to be, you know, anchoring your energy and assessing those things. Okay, if you never ever date another person, does it? Subconsciously, from what I've experienced, and I'm going to have to do a coaching session on this because that's a huge subject. What I have grown to understand is whenever you're not coming into union, it is a blockage you have. 100%. And once I was looking under my armpits for it, I was looking, and you won't have to. Once you reach union with self, because it says it as well, and yet that's what I reached. It was like, no, I've got to come home to myself. You got to get your crap together, Yildiz. Once I'd done that, no relationship defined me. And that's the whole first part of where you're moving towards. Once you've reached that, then you're ready for that. And then you can choose to be with whom you wish to be with. 9 times out of 10, twin will come back. And you will have work to do together. That's just a reality of part of the twin flame path. Be it spiritual, be it emotional, mental, and you will be able to, but you will receive the same frequency with whomever it is through that process. But it will be directly a spiritual blockage if they are ending up in that situation. And it will relate to your value system, your direct past, and you not actually looking at it or healing because you're fixated on that. And it's almost black energy or 5D energy only. That's the only way you can have such. So it needs coaching sessions. Anyway, love and light, and I will come back. I'll have a brief break because we've already gone over 2 hours. And I will come back and do the next Zodiac sign. I think I'll do Scorpio.